Hello, hello, hello. I'm a PaintedDog and welcome back to episode 18, I believe, of our Timberborn 1.0 Let's Play series. I hope you're having a lovely day. My day is actually quite good, thanks. Now, since the last episode, I've run the simulation a little bit. I did a couple of things offline. I'll get to some of them, the majority of them now. But, yeah, I think this playthrough is reaching a point where it's almost time to call it. You can do a lot of things. You can beautify and demolish a little bit more of the terrain and terraform and beautify a little bit more. But I think if we push for maximum, for maximum well-being at the end of the day. I already did that, so that's already unlocked. So I don't really have anything to unlock there, but I always like to do that. Just to push for maximum well-being. But let's speed through because it's almost night and it's almost the end of a bad tide, as you can see there. And let's get through the night. As you can see, we're at 85 or 83 beavers. I was at 85 for quite a while. So we are stagnating, but as you all know, I automated the breeding pods. At this stage, to keep it, let's get to this. I believe it's this one. To less than 15 unemployed beavers. And if a bot is now less than 30 unemployed beavers, the assemblers will kick in. Now these assemblers are online. I added in a bit more metal block storage. And over here I added in 2 more wood workshops and a bit more treated plank storage. I placed in a large warehouse here to bring in pine resin. Another one to bring in planks. What I also did was I started demolishing a bit of this terrain. I can remember here was 2 land masses here. I started taking those out. I marked these to be taken out. There was a bit of terrain that I need to build in here. Otherwise this area underneath would be the lowest point. So Reza will fill this in the entire time. So at this stage I just had to seal that off so we don't have backflow into that supplying system, if I can put it that way. So yeah, and what I also did was I did a bit of work here just to get a couple of platforms in here so I can get power and tubeways running this side. I went for the power over the tubeways in this instance. Yeah, could do it either way, but I thought this might look a bit better. Just to get a couple of charging stations in here because the bots were really losing power while getting to these areas. So I just added that in and then I worked my way back. Adding in a couple of charging stations here and there as well. And I added in this ladder just so I have another way to get in here to lay down the charges for that. And that's the main thing that oh yeah, there's one more thing that I did. If you can remember from this area, it's not fully connected to power. There's a couple of bots here, but they are going to get drained and they need water and all that jazz. So to help address that, you see there's still a beaver. So what I did was I dynamited above these tubeways. I dynamited a piece through there. I made a pathway around there because I don't really use the pathways, but it's nice to have them. And I place in that. So with that in mind, I'm going to do a similar thing over here. Get them to place the power over the tubeways. And I'm just going to heavily prioritize this to get that in. Now on the other side, it's starting to get a bit laggy. But yeah, I do have a lot of running things. Things taking up animations or doing animations in here. So it will get laggy. Be expected. Going to get this up. As I previously said, I also play this game a bit offline, or I say offline. It's not that I'm recording in. I have another playthrough for that, or playthrough for me at least. So I can get a bit of. If I want to play this, but I don't have time to talk through everything, or I can't talk through everything. It's a nice to have. Let me see. Did I do this correctly? take that bad boy out. And now I need to get in here and do something like that. But yes, I also have a playthrough that I do when I just want to play this game. Because I like this game. It scratches a certain itch that I have in my brain. So, yeah. Oh yeah, and I added in a couple more gear factories in here. And one more explosives factory because our explosives are getting really low. As you can see there, so I actually need to place in another one. Because this really eats into our explosives. But there's actually no rush to get this in finished. So I'm not even going to worry about getting another explosive factory in here. The more is a bit of terrain here to get this in and get a bit more space in here. Was it needed? No, but I still included it. A couple of charging stations there. The same over there. So yes, that's what I did off screen. Now you're all caught up. And we had a chat for 6 minutes, getting up to date. But if you take a look at our well-being, we're at 50. A lot of these things that can, but that will be addressed if we switch all of the beaver force over to bot force and lower the working hours for the remaining guys. We will address a lot of this. The same with the campfires, rooftop terraces. We might need more of everything. We'll probably need more of everything, but for now, I think that's fine. But if you take a look at the food, we don't have any fermented mushrooms or any algae rations. So that I want to address that in this issue. But since we have power, or we will have power over here, let's get a couple of charging stations in. Just gonna put one there. Okay. Let's say 3 over there. Can't go 3 there because I need to get power in there. I don't think the teeth grindstone actually transmits power, but if not, I'm just going to move this bad boy up to there. Take this one out. And we can have at least 4. Come on. And we can have at least 4 in there. There we go. So that's now set up and power. I could always include a tubeway from here to there, but there's no reason actually for this to be directly connected. So for now, I think I'm going to leave it. One thing that we can do is try and get a tubeway in here somewhere. So I'm just going to go ahead and take out, let's say that. Now we can go ahead and do that. Actually, no need to go up there. We can connect into this. You know, something like that. Now we can get a tubeway in there. I say there's quite a lot of things that I do that's not necessary or strictly necessary, but I do it for funsies. For instance, this. It's not really needed to connect that up through tubeways or direct tubeways there because it's not too far to the next guy, but yeah. It's nice to have it in. Because I can go from here to there. Yeah, it's fine. Actually, it would help, but do I connect these directly? Not needed. Now, for our hydroponic gardens, I'm going to go for 8 of each. So 8 for mushrooms and 8 for algae. If I did my math correctly, I'm going to need just more than 1 deep water pump. So about 10% short if I only use 1 additional deep water pump. Because they produce 0.33 hours, they produce 1 water. And these, if you take it down to per hour needed, of per water per hour, for 8 of these and 8 of these, it's going to be, I'm going to be about 10% short if I only go 1 water pump. So I'm thinking of Just putting in 2 and get that done. But I also want to include, because we need a food factory for algae that needs algae, canola, and logs to produce the algae rations. And I also need a fermenter for mushrooms. So I was thinking about this area, placing in 2 water pumps here. There's no space left here, and I like that setup. I don't want to mess around with that. I can add in other places, but I thought here, because these have a reach of 6 meters. See right there. And if you take a look here, you go to that level, that's 6. So these will have access to the entire reservoir at all times. But how do I get here? I can always go through here. And the reason why I'm thinking of this area, because our canola oil is produced here. It's close to getting, I'm going to demolish this bit of terrain up here to that level. And then we can add in a tubeway just for now to get in there, or we can just walk around as I said, but we have resources, so I might as well just put another tubeway there. And it's connected to the farming area and connected to closer to additional water. And because I thought about putting it in here because we have access right here, but then we have to extend terrain a little bit. Let's just go for this side. So if we go ahead and just mirror that for now, they will have access to everything from that tubeway, so that's fine. They have power access from that side, which is great. I'm just going to go ahead and kaboom everything here. This will take a while since we have it's basically 0 explosives. So for this, I would actually want to add in a bit more explosives factories. And it's not like I really have a shortage of beavers. Do I just go for it? The question is, where do I put it in? Do I just put it over this side? I might as well just do it. It doesn't have to be extremely efficient. Not that I actually make stuff that's extremely efficient, but for now they can just go in there. It's connected to power, it's connected to everything needed. Now power is actually getting a bit close. So you might want to add in another run of water wheels down there. Which might be a thing that we need to do, but for now, am I worried about it? Not really. Beavers are ticking down still, but we can actually go down another 11, so we're going to be about 70 beavers. Then we'll have more than enough. We actually already have more than enough food and water. As you can see here, a lot of crops are just sitting in here. Same with the water pumps. They're active now, but do a good job of getting everything sorted. 1, 2, 3. I need to take this one down. 3. Let me just work from this way. Similar thing that I did with the main reservoir. Started furthest point and worked my way back. I like to do it similar thing like this. Just to make sure that I can get everywhere. I take everything down. Okay, so they can get in there, get that sorted. They're only taking the extract now because we have a lot of extract, but explosives, not really. I actually go ahead and do this as a lower priority. We have a lot of water. You see there, our reservoir almost filled up completely before the drought. My question now is, why is this thing... Any of these automated? Sure, I switch these off because that happened the previous right before the... Sorry, right before the bad tide that happened as well. We just do this for now. Let's just get the water out. Our crops don't... We don't actually need the crops in here. As I said, it's not set in stone, but because this is a whole mess on its own. But I like it for now. I'm gonna wait until I see bits of land drying up. Then I'm quickly gonna pause, raise everything up. I don't want to lose a lot of water in here. I know I switched off that. Those sluices at the top there. I know it for a fact. These ones. That's why I checked to see if it's automated. Because I closed those up. I know it for a fact because I didn't get water going through this side previously. So I closed those up. Did get a bit of spillover from our reservoirs. You can see it's quite full. But, yeah. Not to worry. Let's just see. Is everything connected on this side? Yes, everything is connected. That's going strong. These got built. Our power is really, because that's usually about 16,000. So we are getting close, and this is now, because this isn't connected to the main system, so that's fine. We can actually connect it up to the main system if we really wanted to. And I'm thinking now, why not? We, as I said, our builders aren't really... They are basically busy with the... At the end of the day, with the explosives. And we don't have a lot of explosives now, so we might as well just do something like that. This will probably irritate a lot of people, but hey, I like the way that I'm doing this. If you don't, you are welcome to change up and do everything different. But for me, this works. I don't need to go the entire way. I don't need a lot of redundancies everywhere. Just the lagginess of everything. We're playing on 3 times speed. That's getting to a point where you have to pause and do your stuff and then get it sorted out again. Just want to get basically this one, that it doesn't waste its power only on these charging stations there. Connect up to the system and get a bit of additional power going. As you can see there, bit of fluctuation. Too close to comfort for me with that. Especially if you want to add in a couple more, at least one more food factory and one more fermenter. Yeah, that's 170 HP, so not a lot, but still. It'd be nice to get that sorted. And not be too stressed about it. That will get done when it gets done. This is now connected everywhere, so that's good. And as I said, I can always just go ahead and dynamite if we actually get explosives to some degree stockpiled again. You can straighten this out, you can take that out. Do a bit of work with this if needed. But even if we add in 2 more water wheels or 4 more water wheels here, it can still contribute over 1,300 approximately HP to the system. Oh yeah, and I also automated the gatherer flags and made sure that everything here is basically automated. Let's just go down here and see if there's any beavers still working. So there should be only bots. Huh? I say that and then I have a couple of plain old beavers working there. Don't want to take your jobs, but you can go ahead and just chill. You know, you don't have to work. That's a nice thing. Oh, I say that. I'll get frustrated so fast. Just make sure that all of these are set. Clicking on the wrong things. Let me just see, did I switch this over? No, I didn't. So for new buildings, I have to set specifically for what. And if I did that, then any building that you construct, or new building that you construct, is automatically bots. You have to go and select, but you only want beavers working there. Damn you rascals. I don't see any more beavers sitting around there. Couple of iron bars there. There's a charging station that I tucked in right there. I have these bad water discharge if I really wanted to. That was another thing that I thought of doing, but I don't know if this will overflow again. If it does, we have a watertight. Next upward. Oh, sorry, oh, that's not really an option, I think, for this bit right here. It can be, because I think they can connect. Yeah, they can connect from the side as well. Always line this bit here, because there's power shafts underneath here. Take out the platforms and just do power shafts, watertight power shafts in that area. But then this area and this area on that side is a bit of a problem. But let's not do that for now. Let's just leave that. I'm actually buying a bit of time so they can get dynamite in here. If you haven't realized that already. So there's another couple of things that I can show you. I can always just pause and bring you back later, but for now, there's still a couple of things that we can talk about. Might want to add in a couple more haulers. I added in, oh yeah, and I added in 2 more builders huts here. These are still beaver based systems. If that built, so you can get 10 more. Then our breeding pod will kick up again, and because it will dip down to 20 or 14 beavers. And that will start. Quickly for this, let's see, we need 1,500 gears. We already have enough. We have enough treated planks, and we have enough metal blocks. You know what? I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna add it in, so they can build that. So basically, they can build anything that new that we put in. If that's done, they'll start with this dynamite, and if that's done, or if I don't have resources, they'll go to do this. So that can get built in the background while we wait. As I said, this will be a real background. So you see, I've already brought stuff in because I don't have everything needed for the dynamite in work. As soon as I get that one built, I can take this stairs out and get the last bit of normal dynamite in. That will just get demolished. I have to wait for that one before I can put that in. Actually, no need to take everything down, but while we are busy, you might as well just do it. Well, thank you. Take that down. And get that in. I actually thought of, and I really wanted to do it, but I forgot. To get a bit more close up and a bit slower speed. Just to check everything. Because I like playing simulation games like this. So you can see everything. But let's just take a moment to appreciate the graphics of this. And just the details in this. Seriously. It's just lovely. Okay, so let's get that back up. See, they do get a bit of work done, but it takes a while. But it's to be expected. Don't increase of okay, yeah, I wondered when they will get to this. Do we go ahead and do a bit of explosions here? Let me just slow this down. Let's pause this. Get everything going. Don't forget that guy. Hopefully I got everything now. And let's play. That's always nice to see. See, the issue is it might start when this reservoir is full. It might start overflowing in over here. Because this might not be sufficient. Get everything filled up. Let's just have a quick peek in there. That's to fill that bit. You know what? Is there a possibility for me to take that bit? Yes. Let's quickly see if I can get in here. Get this up. We need to get down there. So, you know what? No, I'm not gonna take that out. I might have to. 3 will be sufficient. Go from here. Go 4 up there. Then we can see how far we can get. What I wanted to click on. This is all temporary. Just want to be able to get in. Yeah. To do this. So we at least have 2 on this side. Okay, so they'll get that sorted. This level is done. Take that bit out. Still a couple of pots of power. And there's charging stations right here. Quite a lot of charging stations. If I pick that up, they can pick it up. Otherwise, I'm not even going to stress about it. I'm going to go like this because then I can place in charging station on each side. Like that. And then we can have a cry about our power situation again. I foresee that we will extend this a little bit in the not too distant future. Just so we can have a peace of mind of getting that sorted. Not too laggy because there's not a lot of explosions. they can get this sorted. Our explosives are starting slowly to tick up. If you take a look at the amount of time it took to get here, get to this level. If I get to that, great. If I don't, nah, I'm not gonna worry. Seriously, that's why I check now to see how far this road is. I don't know how it works because sometimes it really has issues with picking stuff up, and then other times like now I made peace that they won't be able to pick it up, and then they go ahead and run this distance to pick up resources over there. Again, I have no idea how it does it, but again, fine. I'm really tempted. Get that sorted out as well. Then we can take that down and you just use a normal ladder there. We'll have a lot of water in here. I don't know if we take this down, if our temperate seasons are long enough to fill up this entire thing and cause too much of an overflow in here, but you never know. I don't want to jinx it at the end of the day. Come on. Let's take that down. 1, 2, 3. Get that sorted. Okay, now as I said, I want to add in deep water pumps in here, but I want to design this in a way that we have storage for the produced goods, so the algae and the mushrooms, and then also storage for the canola oil and logs, as well as the fermented mushrooms, as well as the algae rations. If we were to go, let's unlock this quickly. If we were to do something like this, because this doesn't need any electricity. So if I were to do, I'm just going to pause this because I don't want them to build it yet. If we were to do one of those and one of those, né? And then we say this is for mushrooms, because there's not much room, and you can hate me now. Algae, set this to be send it away. These mushrooms, yes. So one, this will be for beavers, and this will be mushrooms. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then this one will be for algae. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same height, no issues there. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. Then like that. And get that in. You know what I'm saying there. So you'll have the completed things there. We can always go ahead and put large water tanks up here, but since we'll have a... This is not the final place. I'm just putting that. It's like that for now. Okay, so then we'll get the raw materials. Then we'll need to have, or let's say, mushrooms on this side first. This is easy. The fermenter, we need the mushrooms, and we just send it away. So let's do something like this. If I were to place a bit of dynamite or explosives there, let's go 2 down. Get that sorted. Then we can get this with a 3 and maybe a 6 or whatever like that. I'm just going to go ahead and pause these. I don't need them building up. So now I can play this. So they can get this bit in. Okay, nay. Come on. Now explosives will be running a bit low again because I want to get this in. But as I said, I don't really want to go ahead and place too many explosive factories because yes, we have the capacity for basically 3,000, but I'm not really going to need that much. Again. Okay, let's pause this quickly. Just wanted to square that off. I could have used the dirt as well, but nah, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to need one like that, one like that. I'm going to put this one to bring in mushrooms. As I said, it's not the most efficient, but this one will send away fermented mushrooms. Eh? Then we have power right there. So I'm going to go ahead and go fermenter. Like that. Like that. Like that. Get pathways in there. And then we can get 2 charging stations right up in there. See, like that. So that's easy. That's easy mode. Okay? So that's our mushrooms sorted. We actually have gone ahead and did something like this. Get that now sorted. Mushrooms. Copy. And take this back there. Get more charging stations in there. Like that. So that's fine. We can do that. No worries. The issue in inverted commas is for algae, because we need canola oil and logs. For logs, not really issue. We can get these to have a roof on top. But we need something for this. That's the issue. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Okay. Something like that. Then we can do something and play around with it. So for now, I'm going to leave this one. They can build that. On this side, we have how many spaces? 3. So it might be worth it to square this off as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get a 2 there. 2 there. And at least that one. Get that sorted so we can square this off a little bit better. This power situation, seriously. Stressing me out. Another thing that we could have done is get water flowing through here, but there's a... If I go down here, I sealed this off, so I can't really get over here as well again. The other thing that we can do is, but I'm really contemplating. You see, there's a water source here, and it's flowing. This is supplying the water for this entire run. If we were to go ahead and let's go down to this level, there's this bad water source right here, and then this one right here. If we were to tunnel, not through here because, yeah, while we are using this, same with this way. We can go around here if we really wanted to, get them to spill in here. The same with this, and flow maybe through here, then tunnel through this, but then we have good water going through here. We don't really want to have that. So the main thing that I think of doing is sealing off the top everywhere that this can spill out. The same with this, because let's face it, this is leading into this whole system. But if we were to get this maybe and seal off the top bits and get this going through here. We are missing these ones. We go, ah, that's fine. But getting that to flow in here. Maybe even use toggle, oh, where is it now? Throttling valves. That can really get water flowing through here. But then using these bad water sources, bad water discharges. I just need to go to the surface and see where they will cause issues. For instance, over here. I don't want the water spilling through here again. Then I just need to go ahead and fill everything up. Maybe for this, go in and get just full valves like that to direct the water going through there. Might even do a similar thing instead, getting water flowing, because at this stage, if it's a bad tide, water flows in there. Let's go down. Bad flows up, water flows through here, up here, and then out from that and off the map there. I can always redirect it with full valves in there to get the bad water flowing through here, getting through this entire run, and then basically joining this bad water in here. That's sealed up, so I'm not worried about that. And then making a run through there. I think that will be the playthrough, to get those to basically have an extra supply for our power situation. I think that's the way to go. Something like that. There's no reason for me to do that in metal blocks. I just like it. Because it's already 10% done, so that's great. Run this through there. I can take these out. Have a bit more space. Okay. Do the automation for this as well. Don't worry. Let me quickly pause this. So now, as I said, for this we need the algae, we need canola oil, and we need logs. And we have power going in here. So if we wanted to, we can do something like logs. Where are you? Put 2 of that in. We need the algae and we need canola oil. So let's go for algae. This is now that. This is for logs. Copy you, put you there. If we were to go for just a single, I like this. Okay. And this is for algae rations. We can always double this up and put another one there. Just pause that for now. Then we can go for that. But the problem is we need, not really a problem, we need the storage of the finished product. So with that in mind, if we were to rearrange this a little, just a little bit, we will go and do this. One of these in. We bring in logs. We don't need a lot of a day. And then this guy, and we tell him to, that's for algae. This is to supply our algae rations. Take that out. I say we don't need a lot, and then I do the same thing over here. That's for the algae rations. This is for plain algae. And then we go ahead and do something like this. Not that. Change that over. Bring in canola oil, please. Then take this up to there. Get that connected like that. I don't think our food factories will connect from there, no. So with that in mind, let's take this guy out. Get that in there. Get that sorted. Always move this closer as well. Be a bit more compact. Just going to go for broken. Docking station. Okay, let's pause this quickly. Do that guy. No need for it to be a normal vertical power shaft, but it's just nice to have an option. This will be for bots and for algae rations. I did change this. I remember I did that. I'm gonna switch these guys over to beaver power as well. You, come on, you, I'm just gonna pause. Don't know if I need to include that as well. We'll see if it's unconnected. Yeah, that's unconnected because this isn't connected. And then on this side we can just go like that. Okay. Get that going. Then they can get that sorted. Now, I want to get a couple of these guys in. As I said, 2. I'm going to go ahead and do that, né? Just so we can push this back a little bit. So we go water storage, let's say there. And we can do, let's just go straight through there. Okay. Always add in one more. On this side, for instance. Get that detonated. Let's just do that. Deep water pumps. And this is for water. I'm just going to leave it like that. You are done. If we were to do this, get that sorted like that. I know I should have thought about this a little bit more, but for now, that's fine. Just going to go for one there. Do something like that. There's not really a way for me to get power to this side. I'm not even gonna worry. Come on, guys, get that sorted for us, please. I know you're hard up for some dynamite or explosives, but please, we need that. Do that, yes, please. Then I'm just going to go like that. I won't be able to get to everything there, but let's just do that. Again, there was no need for me to put a normal vertical power shaft there, but I did. Okay. Now with that in mind, I guess we can go ahead and, again, there was no need for me to do it on that side. Get normal of power shaft in there. Ah, it wasn't nice to have. Now that's connected. Now I can take out these ladders. I can get 2 more charging stations in there. Now I have a question. If we connect this up, I don't think hydroponic gardens will transmit the power through it. In all honesty. But with that in mind, let's go ahead and do this. I want to get power through to this side, just in case we need a bit more. I can always add in. I said this won't be the final place, but now actually works quite well. Have it in there. Accidentally did something smart. Or semi-smart. Did we not get too cocky, eh? And I would think that we might need to address the power situation before finishing up the dynamiting of this. But we'll see. Come on. You have, just what I wanted to say, we do have some explosives. You can always add in more on this side. On top of the gardens. But for now, that's fine. We can do this. I am going to add in 2 more. Let's go 3 more. It's gonna get really close now. But hey, we want to get this going. This guy, while we are waiting, let's go ahead. Placed in all of these in here. One for mangrove fruit. This will be for fermented. Yeah, mushrooms. It will be for fermented mushrooms. And you will be for fermented mushrooms. You will be for algae rations. And this is where someone in the comments will tell me that I already did that. Please let me know if I already did that, so I can just switch things around. This is for fermented mushrooms. And I can just do that. Oh, why are you beavers? See, now they are waiting, but we don't have anything. So I might just want to add in one for mushrooms and do a hand gate. Same with this. Bit more complicated, but I don't think we'll ever run out of canola oil or I don't know, logs. Get that pulled up, please, so we can get that in. Because we have a bit more power here. I'm not even going to pause or automate those two. Okay, so we will be getting, look at our well-being, we'll be getting fermented mushrooms and algae rations. There is some of that, so we can address that later. That will get sorted. Our earth repopulator will get. Speaking of which, 17%. Not too bad, not too bad. Let me just check to see if all of these are set to bots. That's now bots, that's now bots. Bots, bots. Great. Here's metal parts, planks. I'll get that built. I'm too stressed about that. And we are at 70 beavers. Let's quickly, before we end, let's run through and see where beavers are working and not bots. I think it might be just the hauling post. It should be just the hauling posts. Bit difficult to see at times. Because I'm just checking for that double thing on this side. Lumberjack flags. I'm just going to unlock this. Use a bit of science for that. Okay, so it's just supposed to be the hauling posts that have normal beavers working. Let's see how this is. This is now down. We might need to add in one more system for this. Basically one more bot part factory for each of these. And then maybe adding two more. Yeah. Two more assemblers. Will we be able to squeeze in? Would have been nice if we could squeeze in one on this side as well. I believe this is the only place where we can do it. I'm going to take that out. Get another one of these in. This will be for Jesse. This will be for limbs. If you remember correctly, we have one in here. This is for heads. So I already have everything that we need right here. Then we can just add in, let's say, 2 of these bad boys. Why do I do ladders for that one? Let's put ladders over there. We can do something like that. Then platforms over there. And get that sorted out. So, yeah, because this is now, because that was 88 when I last checked. The bot chassis and the bot heads were together. So let's get that sorted. They can get that built. Right. Let's take a look here. What's not connected? Oh, yeah. We missed one. Now these guys will have a workout out for them to keep this filled up. We might want to go ahead and prioritize by haulers, but there's water right here. There's water right here. I don't know why that will be an issue, but let's just keep it like that. This will supply. This will obtain. So okay, so we have that. How's this going? They are getting through this quite fast. That got sorted out. You know what? Do we just go ahead and do this? I think that might be a 3. So let's get that in. Actually, no need for me to majorly prioritize this. Because let's face it, this is now a lowest priority or lower priority. So these will get sorted. I like how we run and get everything. I know that was placed in first, but seriously. I'm just going to go ahead and delete these 2. Okay? Because I want to blow these ones up just to make sure that I'm correct. Yes, I am. So now as soon as they can do that from the top, I don't need to worry about this, but I want to take this whole thing out. This is where the issue lies. I don't think they'll be able to get that one. No, it's too far. All of these are too far now. They can run and build that, but they can't go ahead and... Yeah, but those are underneath. Okay. Sorry. Let me just see if I were to destroy this. this entire thing there. Yeah, take it out. Now we can just go ahead and do... No, we can't. I just wanted to say we can go ahead and just do a normal... Let me just see. Let me not do something. That's just to fill that up. And there's a fluid dump. No, I'm not even gonna worry about that. Get that done. We can always add in. It needs to be done first. Make sure that's a cutting area. Thank you very much. Could have done the same thing with that. I think we are hurting too badly for logs. I say that, and all our trees are cut down. Except for this little bit there. So we're not too bad. But we are getting to that point now. You can see our beavers, our bots are falling behind. We are down to 50 and 52 respectively. So this is needed. I think that's why our log situation is getting a bit more finicky. And our beavers are also now converting a lot back into gears and treated planks because of this. But they are getting that filled in. So you know what? I think this is now really a long episode. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this. And I'll bring you back just for a last boom boom here. I think it might be time for a night time explosion. That's looking quite spectacular. And this is now the slower speed, so it's quite a lot for my aging PC to handle. Because if you don't know, my PC is now this year 9 years old. The majority of the components. It's time for me to upgrade, but life happens. And this is now a bit of a back burner for now. Because at this stage, the games that I play, only Timberborn is quite labor intensive. So I'm not too worried about that. But yes, let's get out of this view. So our reservoir is for now completely taken down to the level that we wanted. So yeah, I think for next episode, let's quickly do a recap. We have all of this now in. We need to make a mess of it. I'll check this now. I'll check it and I'll do what I need to do to get this sorted. I think it's to take this out and just get a normal power shaft in there. Okay, so what we did was we added in more bot parts and assemblers here. That's now looks like it's starting to recover now. We connected up with tubeways and electricity, or electricity feeds too. We added electricity or power shafts in here to get this connected. We dynamited down our reservoir a bit more. Added in these entire things, although it's might be off screen. But the major thing that we did was we added in place for fermented mushrooms and algae rations, and these are 70 to basically it's gonna start now. We added in these two, add a bit more infrastructure here, and we are looking for ways. I see our logs have bounced back quite a bit, so I'm not too stressed about that. So for the next episode, what I'm thinking of doing is maybe extending this, because our power, as you can see, is about 100 HP. difference between what we supply and our demand. So we can't place in anything more. There's a couple of things that might be paused. If they come online, we are dipping into the negatives here. As you can see there, but basically the negatives. For the next episode, we have a bit of explosives now. And explode this out a bit more. Might not even go as far as there, but add in 1 or 2 or 3 sets of water wheels in here. Get that sorted. Then I'm contemplating going down to this level. As you can see with that, we have bad water discharge rate, bad water discharge rate that's now not contributing to anything. So what I was thinking of doing, as I said, was add in this right there, and adding a couple more in here, so that with bad tide of water doesn't flow out here, it's just going through here. This is locked up, if I'm not mistaken. All levels, that's fine. And getting water pushed through here, getting this opened up. I'll just go up to the surface and check where these tunnels are connected everywhere. And maybe push water up here. And connecting these up, maybe, to about there. So this water can push through here. And then just tunnel straight through there. Okay, with a couple of throttling valves might be the way to go. So we can get water pushed in here a bit more. So we can add in a bit more HP running through here. You see there's a bit of wastage there, we knew that. But that was to get in this. But yes, this will be the end of this episode. I might want to look for other ways to get more water going through everywhere. But I'll bring you back when and if that happens. But I hope you enjoyed this episode and hope to see you in the next one. Cheerio.